So when Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, talks, everybody in tech and finance, they sit up and listen. He's not just selling the shovels for this AI gold rush, he's basically designing the entire mine. Today, we're going to break down 9 of his most important predictions for where AI is headed.
So why does his voice carry so much weight? Well, see, it's not just that NVIDIA's tech is the engine of the AI revolution. It's also a critical piece in the whole strategic game between the US and China. Huang has a foot in both Washington and Beijing, and that gives him this really unique vantage point on where we're all going.
All right, first up, let's dive into the economic side of things. The immediate impact. Huang sees this AI-driven transformation that's going to completely reshape how we make money, what skills actually matter, and where the new big chances are going to pop up.
Now that is a wild claim. Just think about that for a second. The dot-com boom. That was huge, right? And it took 2 decades to create all that wealth. Huang is saying AI is going to do the same thing, but in a quarter of the time. We're talking about a tidal wave of value that's faster and more intense than anything we've ever seen.
So, where is all this value actually coming from? Well, it's from this idea of what you could call elite human labor. Huang's point is that the core of this revolution isn't some giant army of coders. It's these small, super elite teams. He says it only takes about 150 of the world's best researchers to build a game-changing AI model. Just 150 people. That's it.
And that explains the insane money being thrown around. His logic is pretty simple, right? If a startup with just 150 people is worth billions of dollars, then each one of those individuals is an absolutely massive asset. He's arguing we have to stop thinking of them as just employees and start seeing them as essential capital goods for building the future.
Okay, this brings us to the elephant in the room. What about jobs? The common fear is all about efficiency AI. Using tech to cut costs and automate people out of a job. But Huang, he focuses on what he calls opportunity AI, where the whole point of the technology isn't to cut back, but to expand what's possible.
And he's got a pretty good example. His own company, Nvidia. Every single one of their workers uses AI. And you know what? They're not laying people off. He says they're busier than ever, chasing after these huge ideas that AI has suddenly made possible. It's not about replacing people. It's about giving them superpowers to go after problems that used to be impossible to solve.
So if AI is creating all these new opportunities, what does this mean for you? For me, for us as individuals? Well, Huang believes it's going to be the great equalizer. It's going to dramatically raise the ceiling on what every single one of us is capable of doing.
It's kind of like how the internet made information available to everyone. Huang says AI is going to do the same thing for skills. Think about it. The barrier to programming is just collapsing. You used to have to learn all this complex code. Now, you just ask. You state what you want in plain English, and the AI does the heavy lifting. And look, this isn't just about coding. Not at all. The same idea applies to creative work. Suddenly, anyone can generate images, write text, produce content. Now, does this mean skill doesn't matter anymore? Of course not. But what it does mean is that the starting line for what any one person can create is getting a massive, massive boost. Okay, so let's pull the camera back from the individual and look at the whole system. Because what Huang is talking about here is a total reinvention of our entire industrial infrastructure. And the scale of it is, well, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. At the core of all this is his concept of twin factories. Picture this. For everything you build in the real world, a car, a new product, whatever, you're first going to build a perfect digital copy of it in a simulated world. This AI factory will test, train, and perfect the AI that will then go run the physical factory, making everything way, way smarter and more efficient. And let's be clear, he's saying this isn't optional, this isn't a nice-to-have feature. Huang's message is pretty stark. AI is becoming the fundamental operating system for all of industry. If your company doesn't make this jump, you're just not going to be able to compete, period. So what's the price tag for all this? It's immense. With all the talk about an AI bubble, Huang is basically saying you haven't seen anything yet. He thinks we're just in the very early innings. The money we spent so far is just a down payment on a build-out that's going to cost multiple trillions of dollars. And why so much? Because we're not just adding a new program,
We are fundamentally reinventing computing for the first time in 60 years.
This also shapes how he thinks countries should compete. He says, when you're faced with global competition, the temptation is to get protectionist, to degrade down to tennis shoes, as he puts it. But he's saying, no, don't do that. Let's do the opposite. The strategy should be to outcompete everyone by making the highest value stuff in the world, the chips and supercomputers that will power everything else.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important part of this whole puzzle: the final battlefield. It's not just about who has the best AI models or the fastest chips. The real prize, the thing everyone's really fighting for, according to Huang, is the loyalty of the world's developers.
He has this really powerful question. Just imagine if the next huge, groundbreaking AI model, what if it only worked on a tech stack that wasn't American? If the rest of the world starts building on a different foundation, the strategic fallout from that would be absolutely enormous. The standard you build on is everything.
And this is why he's so focused on this. I mean, look at the numbers. A platform is worthless if nobody builds on it. And right now, about half of all the AI developers in the world are in China. Winning over those developers isn't just a business goal for him, it's a vital strategic mission. So this is the key insight, right? The real secret sauce. Having the best hardware is one thing, sure, but NVIDIA's true competitive advantage, their real moat, is CUDA. That's the programming platform that developers use. It locks them in. And securing that developer ecosystem, he argues, is the ultimate key to winning in the long run.
So that's where we land. The AI revolution is here, no doubt about it. It promises to change everything, to boost our abilities in ways we can barely imagine. But the race is on, and it's a race not just for the best AI, but for the foundational platform that everything else will be built on. The question of who wins that race? Well, that's the question that will define the 21st century.